1984 is a famous and impactful novel written by George Orwell, published in 1949. It describes a dystopian future where a totalitarian government controls every aspect of people's lives, eliminating personal freedom and independence. The story focuses on Winston Smith, who lives in a world filled with fear, violence, and lies. Setting and background 1984 is set in a fictional world divided into three large superstates: Oceania, Eurasia, and Eastasia. Most of the story takes place in Oceania, a totalitarian state where the government has complete control. The ruling party, known as the Party, is led by a figure called Big Brother, who constantly watches everyone and controls every part of their lives. Party control and propaganda. The party's slogan is, "War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength." This slogan shows how the party has twisted the truth so that people accept contradictory ideas. The party has also created a new language called newspeak to limit people's thoughts and prevent them from challenging the government. Winston Smith's life. Winston Smith is the main character of the story. He is a 39-year-old man living in London, part of Oceania. Winston works at the Ministry of Truth, where his job is to alter historical records to match the party's current policies, essentially rewriting the past to make it look like the party has always been right. Winston secretly hates the party and thinks about rebelling, but he knows it's very dangerous. His life is filled with fear and loneliness, as he knows that everyone is being watched by the party, and even a small mistake can lead to severe punishment. Meeting Julia Winston's life changes when he meets Julia, a young woman who also works at the Ministry of Truth. Although she seems loyal to the party, Winston soon learns that she hates the party too. They start a secret relationship, which is an act of rebellion against the party. Julia and Winston spend time together and express their opposition to Big Brother. For Julia, rebellion means breaking the party's rules and living freely, while for Winston, it represents a fight against the party's control over ideas. O'Brien's role. Winston and Julia hope that O'Brien, a high-ranking party member, will help them. O'Brien is a powerful figure who convinces Winston that he is also against Big Brother. Winston and Julia go to O'Brien and try to involve him in their plans. O'Brien tells them about a secret organization called the Brotherhood, which is fighting against Big Brother. Winston and Julia want to join this group. O'Brien warns them that the Brotherhood is very secretive and its members must be careful, rest, and torture. Winston and Julia's rebellion is eventually discovered. The thought police, who arrest people who think against the party, catch them. They are taken to the Ministry of Love, which is actually a place of torture and psychological abuse. At the Ministry of Love, Winston is tortured physically and mentally to force him to give up his rebellious thoughts. O'Brien, whom Winston thought was his friend, is actually loyal to the party and tortures Winston to make him obey. O'Brien reveals that the party's real goal is to have total power and control over everyone. Winston is tortured until he abandons his rebellion. Room 101 and final submission. Winston is taken to Room 101, the most feared place in the Ministry of Love. Here, the most terrifying punishment is given to each person. For Winston, the punishment involves facing his worst fear, rats. When Winston is confronted with the rats, he breaks down completely and betrays Julia, asking for her to be punished instead of him. After this, Winston is released. Conclusion. In the end, Winston is freed from the Ministry of Love, but he is no longer the same person. He has lost all desire to rebel and now genuinely loves Big Brother. His relationship with Julia is over, and they become strangers. Winston now lives as an obedient citizen, but his inner freedom and independence are gone. The novel ends with Winston, who once opposed the party, now loving Big Brother. The party has completely won, and Winston has lost his individuality and free thought. Key themes and messages. 1984 serves as a warning about the dangers of totalitarian governments and their ability to take away personal freedom and control every aspect of life. The novel shows how the party dominates everything: the past, present, and even the future. Key themes include totalitarianism and control. The party's absolute control shows how governments can completely dominate people's lives. Surveillance and privacy. The novel highlights constant surveillance and the loss of privacy, showing how governments can monitor and control every detail of people's lives. Propaganda and reality distortion. The party changes history and forces people to believe false information, showing how governments can distort truth and control minds. Desire for freedom and rebellion. Winston's story reflects the human desire for freedom and how oppressive regimes try to suppress it. Love and human relationships. The relationship between Julia and Winston represents rebellion, but the party destroys their connection, showing how totalitarian regimes attack personal relationships. Mental and physical torture. Winston's torture demonstrates how governments use physical and mental abuse to maintain control and crush dissent. Final thoughts. 1984 is still relevant today, reminding us of the importance of freedom, independence, and truth. Orwell's portrayal of a world where the government controls everything, leaving no room for personal freedom, serves as a powerful reminder to protect individual rights and resist oppressive power. The novel's message remains a warning against totalitarianism, excessive surveillance, and restrictions on free expression. It encourages readers to consider whether we are heading toward a future where truth, love, and freedom are lost.